to open the door on climate, we had a couple of climate questions. Try to combine these into maybe one question about how you feel about putting a price on carbon and how you feel about increasing housing density and more transportation policies that support a more effective approach to climate change.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot to unpack there. I'll start off with the infrastructure piece because we kind of ended on that with the last one. But look, Coachella Valley Rail is a big issue on the other side of this congressional district because there's a huge amount of traffic that goes from LA County into the Coachella Valley. There's a huge amount of tourists going back and forth, and it all honestly backs up a ton of traffic throughout the district, right? Not just the Coachella Valley. That spills into Corona. It spills into the I-15 corridor. And so investing meaningfully in high-speed rail and a Coachella Valley rail is something that I would 100% be committed to because it's going to take cars off the road. It's going to grow the economy in the Coachella Valley. It's going to make everybody's lives much less painful when we're on the road. And we all know how painful it is in Southern California to be sitting in traffic. And so, as I often say, let's stop electing the people who would vote to name a highway after Donald Trump, but wouldn't actually vote to repair the highway, right? So that's one thing we can do is invest in infrastructure to help our climate. Second thing we can do, in addition to those incentives that I was talking about a second ago that can power a new clean tech economy, I think in places like the Coachella Valley. Look at what just happened the other day with our water infrastructure and the news about being moved into tier 2 on the Colorado River for the first time in history for cut reductions. And fortunately, California was spared in this initial round. But if you look at what they've been saying about the water level, when it drops to 1,040-ish feet, right? California is also going to be on the chopping block. And we have got to start meaningfully investing in upgrading our water infrastructure. And I believe that this is an absolutely critical issue that if left unaddressed is going to devastate our communities. And Riverside County is one of the most vulnerable places in California that's going to have to deal with an ever increasing drought. And so one of the big things we can do is, and I've talked about from the beginning of the campaign, is trying to work with the other Democratic representatives in California to secure at least $2 billion in federal infrastructure funding to try to modernize our water infrastructure so that we are capturing more water drain off during storms, so that we are trying to modernize some of the agricultural equipment that's used to water plants. That's actually a huge 80% of our water usage is often coming from agriculture. And sometimes we're not using the most efficient tech to do that. And the private sector is not always there and stepping up to help do that. But I think really creating that hybrid mix of incentives to create jobs in the private sector for companies that are meaningfully investing in those new clean tech jobs and also investing in our water infrastructure are going to be two key parts of the next 5 to 10 years here in Riverside County for climate.
Yes.